Welcome back. Let's bring you this story now. MPs will debate President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address. The 9-hour sitting has been set aside for the crucial debate, which will start at 10 o'clock this morning and run up until 8 p.m. this evening. The President is expected to reply tomorrow. And our senior reporter, Annika Larsen, joins us live from Parliament now. Annie, good morning to you. So give us just a short recap of what the President focused on last week, Thursday.
Good morning. Yes, I'm very glad you emphasized how many hours we will be spending sitting in the gallery above in the chamber for the better part of the day and evening. If I can remember correctly, the debate's usually held over 2 days. So there's obviously a reason for scheduling reasons why the President wants to make his reply tomorrow. But yes, over 40 speakers are down in the order paper, and it's set down for 454 minutes. To respond to President Cyril Ramaphosa's 6,364 worded speech that was made last Thursday. And very interesting, I think, to watch out for today is how the ANC responds in a united way to what many people have criticized about the President's speech. Of course, he focused on economic recovery, jobs, better literacy, and of course this what critics are calling this Wakanda-like dreaminess, this dream city inspired by visits to China that opposition parties have criticized as being unworkable, that we need to get back to basics first, that we need to make sure everybody has proper sanitation before we can build bullet trains and cities. And other people saying it's time that we as Africans start to dream of a better life, and likened the speech to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech and President Thabo Mbeki's I Am an African speech. So it depends, I think, really on how the ANC is going to respond rather than the opposition parties respond later today.
It's very interesting you bring up the issue of whether or not the ANC will speak in a united voice here. Let's put them aside perhaps for the time being and talk about the response thus far from opposition parties. They were not very nice to the President, were they?
No, I mean, they certainly criticized his speech and said it wasn't a working speech. 10 years was too long a time. His time frames were far too long in terms of looking forward to solutions. They wanted quick fixes, which I think the President, you would probably could argue, has tried to do by fixing the NPA and the state capture inquiries. His ESCOM and other interventions at SOEs haven't necessarily worked, but also what the alliance partners are going to say about job cuts at ESCOM. The President didn't speak much about them or other SOEs. Musi Maimane, DA leader, saying all talk, no detail, living a dream, referring to that new city, and no immediate changes, just 10-year goals. The EFF saying we need jobs, not dreams. We need to get the basics right before we can dream of a new Beijing. So it'll also be very interesting to see what the alliance partners will say, because they supported the speech shortly after it was delivered on Thursday night. But if there are going to be job cuts with those SOEs, I should think that they're going to push back.
Annika, who's likely to speak on behalf of the ANC during that debate? Because that's going to be very interesting who they pick.
That's right, and they really are big hitters in the pro-Ramaphosa camp, the majority of them at least. You've got first off as the Chief Whip, Phemi Majadina, then you've got Minister of Health, William Kize, Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, we've got Minister for Higher Education, Bladen Zemande, Minister for Mineral Resources, Gwedi Mantashe, Fikile Mbalula, who's just come off a train ride as the Minister of Transport this morning, and of course Minister in the Presidency, Jackson Mthembu, who was the Chief Whip here at Parliament and really played a large role in the removal, if you like, of pushing caucus to vote in that crucial vote, final vote of no confidence before it actually happened, saying we have to perhaps vote the president out. We've got to this crucial stage. I think it was the seventh time that vote of no confidence had been put forward. So those are pro-Ramaphosa speakers. There are a few others, but those are the heavy hitters that jump out at us on the list.